See, make sure everything's set up. Sound good. Make sure everything's set up. Sound good. All right. All right. Shalom Akim. Um, Before I begin this live stream, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule very well. That's continually feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's continually doing his work here strong for 30 plus years, man. And much due honors and salutations to Shalom to the hopefully elect and the sincere Akim is also pushing his work in all faith, true sincerity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled "World War III is at the Doorstep." And Shalom, I got one of the Akim in the chat room, Shalom. But yeah, man, the title of this live stream is "World War III is at the Doorstep," and pretty much we had recent news that pretty much has been going on since last week concerning what's been going on in Syria. Pretty much, people have been deeming it as a tragedy in Syria. People getting killed, and as a response, the United States, headed by Trump, decided to stage an attack in Syria. All right, at one of the bases, and now Russia is pretty much taking action on what the United States has just did. All right, pretty much with that attack. All right, because you have to understand that pretty much Syria, including Iran, right? Because Iran is also allied with Syria as well, along with Russia. So you have to understand that Russia, Syria, and Iran, pretty much they're all in league with each other, so to speak. Okay, because and that's the thing about being in league or being allies with another power, because let's say, for instance, America would have did that to Iran, then pretty much Russia would have to step in at that point in time, man, just like they're doing now. All right. So with this attack on Syria, pretty much Russia stepped in and also Iran stepped in. All right. And they made statements on it, right? Basically telling America that what they just did, they pretty much just crossed the line, man. All right, but really they literally said they crossed the red line. All right. In other words, America's pretty much in the danger zone, man. All right. In other words, Russia, Iran, Syria can pretty much hold them accountable, right? And deem that as a war crime, man. All right. And we've been speaking about this for a while now, man, about Trump, because I mean, we already knew in the spirit that Trump was pretty much going to be the guy to pretty much there's going to be a part and that's going to kick off World War III. All right, because Trump, we know in the spirit that this pretty much he's the last one to be in office, man. All right, because in that the action which he just did, he pretty much reneged on the statements that he was making about him basically trying to come to terms with Russia, because even Trump now, he's right now he's instating sanctions, right? He's considering sanctions against Russia. All right. And see, now you're starting to see that pretty much, he didn't hold on to what he was saying because the thing about these presidents, they don't they don't operate on their own. You know, they might make statements to probably to capture the people's attentions or whatever, but really the whole basis behind what they do is by the bankers, man, the so-called elites. All right, see the presidents pretty much they're set up by the higher ups, man. All right, to be in that office, and they're told what to do. Okay, so even though Trump probably made those statements, whatever, but still he has to follow the status quo all in all. Okay, but and as you know, man, really this is scriptural, man. This is all prophecy. Okay, which these people um refuse to admit, because everybody always got a problem with the Bible, especially concerning prophecy, like it's a fairy tale or whatever. But these scriptures are living, man. You can see it. You can see it to this day, man. I mean, look at what's happening. All right, it's pretty much just going to lead into the next coming war, World War III, man. All right, which really World War III. This is the war to end all wars, man. Okay, and they let you know that this is the very end, man. We're at the finish line. You can literally see the finish line right in front of us, man. Okay, but let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. Go ahead, switch over. Press the wrong button. All right, there we go. Yeah, man. So I got these articles. I actually got two. Which this one is let's see. This is actually today about Trump and those sanctions against Russia. And actually, this is the headline right here. It says Trump considering sanctions against Russia and Iran over Syria. Okay, which day of the day is, and is by RT. All right. Now, it says U.S. President Donald Trump is considering implementing new sanctions against Russia and Iran. The U.S. ambassador to UN, Nikki Haley, has said in an interview with CNN. Speaking to Jake Tapper, the host of the State of the Union show on Sunday, the U.S. official said that the issue of the new sanctions are already being discussed. All right. So, in other words, they pretty much put it out in the forefront. Or they put it out in the news that Trump is pretty much considering putting sanctions against Russia, in which, like I said before, that's really he's going back on what he was on the statements that he made during his election run. Okay. So in other words, man, that's let you know that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai has pretty much moved this thing along to where America and Russia would have to butt heads with each other. Okay, because and not only that, really Yahweh Bashim Shai is using these elites to pretty much do what they do. Why is that, man? Because these elites, they pretty much have a goal in mind when it comes to this next coming war, even though it's going to fail. Okay, because with the past wars, right, World War I and World War II, these the higher ups of Esau, right, which is the so-called white man, the higher ups of Esau, which is the so-called elites, the bankers, they actually made a profit. They made money off of the previous wars. Okay, in which they're planning to do that again. All right, in this next coming war, but again, it's gonna backfire all in all, and they know this. All right, that's why they're tiptoeing around around this issue about Syria. Okay, because Syria is pretty much standing between America and and the oil. Okay, because with thing about this is, and if I remember correctly, I did a previous video on it about the oil that's over in that region. All right, because the petrodollar is declining. All right, because these other nations are not relying on the dollar system anymore. Okay, and now they're starting to turn their attention to a new form of currency that's not backed by the dollar. And see, America, of course, they're gonna make actions to where that's not gonna happen. All right. But see, with this whole thing, this conflict going on in Syria, that's also prophecy, man. Okay. It's prophecy in the scriptures that conflict was gonna go on in the land of Syria, man. Before I go any further into it, um, I have another piece of info on here. Let's see. Right now, this is from ABC News. This was it's also today. It says a statement released by the Joint Command Operations Center of Syrian Allies, a group that includes Russia and Iran, warned the U.S. against further military actions in the war-torn country following a missile strike on a Syrian airbase last week. Referring to its defense of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad regime, the group warned that they will support Syria and its people with all means that we have. And see, and that's another thing too. America is pretty much trying to get this guy Bashar al-Assad out of office. All right, because Slocky, yeah, because really Assad is heading, pretty much this this pushback, so to speak, because really America is doing it behind closed doors or behind a shroud of secrecy. Because the whole thing about ISIS, man, and about terrorists, really that was set up. Okay, it was all set up, man. ISIS is not an actual terrorist group, because if you actually go into it and you find out how ISIS has been getting their hands on that kind of power, you have to find out where they're getting it from. All right, in order and you can do your own research on that, and you'll see who they're getting it from, because you'll find out that ISIS is really set up. Okay, so really that conflict is all because America wants that oil, man, and they want Assad out of there. They want him out of office. Okay, and now since America has made that move, right, when they pretty much made an attack on Syria, then Russia and Iran stepped in, like I said before. All right, and see, now is about to really get hot, man. Okay, so from then on, man, and reading on in the article, it says the United States crossed red lines by attacking Syria. All right, like I said before, man, America's pretty much in the danger zone, man. Really, going back into this our other article right here on RT, Trump is making it even worse. Okay, which and it pretty much, if you understand what's going on, man, you already know that World War III is right at the door, man. All right, it's inevitable. It's bound to happen. These devils are the biggest terrorists. That's right, man. Because America itself, man, it just going to these other nations' lands and take what they want, man. All right. I mean, just like if you go and read the book of Obadiah 1, and I believe it's at verse 6, it says would not a thief have broken in to steal and taken until he had enough. But if you read on, it says he's done more than that, man. All right, Esau's done more than that, man. He's taken more than what he needed. He's actually on a war path to get whatever that he can, man. Okay, so he's actually worse than a thief, because he wants everything to himself, man. He goes around, conquers everyone's lands. All right, take what they want, and even more. They even do more than that, man. They try to spread their own way of living, saying, "Hey, this is how you got to live." Your way is not the right way. You got to live by our rules. You got pretty much rule your nation by democracy like we do, because America is nothing but a big empire, man. It's a corporation. It's a business. All right. And really, with an empire goes out and conquers different lands and pretty much take their customs and and pretty much send it to the other lands, man. Having them live by your customs. All right. That's what the empire does. So really, um, that's what America's been doing the whole time, man. Been spreading out, spreading his army too thin, sending it to different nations, and to spread their customs, man. That American way of life. Okay. And see, the thing about this particular region right here, Syria, with Assad, pretty much he's not having it, man. All right, now, pretty much Syria's fought back. Russia got involved. Iran got involved, and pretty much China even got involved because America's been on North Korea like white on rice, so to speak. Because about North Korea is funded by China. So really, with America's trying to, the main reason why America is getting at North Korea, because they know North Korea is in league with China, man, because China is funding North Korea with weapons. All right. So North Korea really can't do anything without China's say so, or without their consent, so to speak. Why is that, man? Because like I said before, they pretty much get their supplies from China. All right. So with that, man, reading on, it says let's see, it says America knows very well our ability and capability to respond well to. See, there we go, man. See, America is not the only man that or should I say America is not the only entity that has thermonuclear capabilities, man, that has their weaponry. All right. Because Syria has the same weaponry, Russia has the same weaponry, Iran has the same weaponry. All right. North Korea is getting their brand of weaponry from China because China has their own weaponry. All right. So America's not the only superpower anymore. All right. Now you got others. And that's the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah, because back, years before this whole thing started spiraling out of control, the only superpower that even had that capability whatsoever was America. But now, as of 2017, now you got other nations that getting their hands on that kind of power. Okay. See, America is not the big bully anymore. Now you got other nations that's standing up to America. All right. Now it says, and we will respond without taking into consideration any reaction and consequence. All right. So in other words, when they act, they're not going to consider anything, man, because they've done enough talking already. They've been back and forth over and over again, and where pretty much it just comes down to who's going to fire the first bullet. All right, in which America pretty much made their stance on the recent attack. All right. Now, I believe that's it on that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can go and get this article on ABC News. Pretty much says you can see the title right here. If you can look it up on Google, you'll definitely find it, or you can go on RT and look up this title, and you'll find both these articles, and you can read more on them. All right, but pretty much, man, all in all, with these two articles and this whole lesson or this video or live stream, Salakia, that's put up, man, it's just showing you that World War III is just completely at the doorstep, man. And really, it just boils down to who's gonna take it to the next level. All right, it's gonna be America again, or it's gonna be Russia this time, or it's gonna be Iran, or it's gonna be Syria. We don't know. All right. But we do know is right at the doorstep and is knocking. All right. Now it's Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2, going to the scriptures. Because like I said before, this is all prophecy. This is all foretold in the scriptures that were written thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, man. All right. For these times now. Now this is verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them. All right. Now it says Gog, which is in the land of Magog, is really in that region where Russia is today. All right. And it's saying prophesy against them and say, verse 3, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth me. All right. Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. All right. So in other words, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is pretty much put hooks into their jaws, right? And he says, I will bring them forth. In other words, he's turning them back into that warlike force, like it was back during the Cold War. All right. Because guess what? The Cold War never ended. All right. Vladimir Putin is on record for saying that. He's saying that Russia never lost the Cold War because the Cold War never ended. All right. That's his quote. So the Cold War never ended, man. And see, now they're going back into that warlike state, they're back into a superpower again. And that's the Lord that's doing that. That's Yahweh Shem Shai that's doing that. All right. And it says, I'm gonna read again. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And see, Russia has the same nuclear capability as America does, man. All right. That's like I said before, man. Russia never lost the Cold War. Vladimir Putin's made that statement, saying that they never lost the Cold War. All right, because the Cold War never ended. And guess what? Now to this day, as of 2017, they still have the same capabilities as America does, man. Because Russia has always been a threat to America. All right. And see, that's once again, man, that's why they've been tiptoeing around, trying to avoid conflict with them. But still, the moves that they're making, you're not doing nothing but hitting the hornet's nest, so to speak. And that's what Trump did, man. He pretty much went up to the hornet's nest, right? And he's been poking at it with a twig. All right. And by him even considering sanctions, right, he's still doing it. All right, he's still poking at that hornet's nest, man. And pretty soon those hornets are gonna come out and it's gonna attack him, man. And it's gonna start attacking America. Okay. But going back to the scriptures, man, this verse 38, verse 5, Salakia, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. All right, Persia, right? Persia is pretty much Iran. All right. And Ethiopia and Libya. Now, to make a statement on this, now there's a thing which or should I say there's a society or an association right now that's geared towards removing their reliance from the dollar. All right. It consists of if I remember correctly, I think is Brazil, right? Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and South Sudan. All right. And we already know about South Sudan. Really, South Sudan is in the region of Africa. All right. And they named it BRICS. Okay. And the reason why they set up BRICS is because they're trying to remove their reliance from the dollar, because the dollar is losing its value. All right. Once again, that's going back to me saying at the beginning of the live stream. That's why America's been pressing so hard on Syria so they can pretty much get more resources out of it, man. So, and the side's not having that. All right, all this is for oil, man. All this is it has been for oil. So far, man. Okay, it's always been about resources. Every war that America's always declared is always has been about resource. All right. Now, if I remember correctly, my facts are straight, the previous one before oil was opium. All right. See, they were fighting for opium back then. All right, back during the time of war with I believe it was Japan, right? Going all the way back to Vietnam, the Vietnam War, which that war was fought for opium, all the way up until now, was they're fighting for oil, another resource. All right, like I said before, man, you know these devils really, you know, they step into everyone's lands and try to take what's not theirs, man. All right, and they're still doing it to this day. And these nations, these nations have had enough of that, man. Now they're standing up to America and what it's doing. All right. Now, verse 6, it said, Gomor and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. Now, verse 7, it says, Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's exactly what Russia's doing right now. That's exactly why Russia has stepped in. Okay? Because now Russia's being a guard to him. That's why Russia's made an alliance with them, man. Not only Russia, but Iran also. Okay? Now Russia is a guard to Iran. Okay? Because all in all, man, really, and we've been saying this over and over again, you know, we've been pushing this out that, you know, Russia is going to be one of the ones to spearhead World War III. Russia is the main threat to America. All right? Because they're both, it's not one-sided, if not one-sided, Slovakia. They're both on equal ground, man. In which, all in all, if you really look at it, compared to the force of America's army, compared to the force of Russia's army, really America doesn't hold a candle to Russia, man. All right, because if you compare their the forces together, man, really Russia comes out on top. All right, and see, and America knows this. That's why they're not trying to find a or they're not trying to push themselves into a conflict with Russia. Okay. Now, that is pretty much it on that. I want to get the book of let me get this real quick. This is actually what this prophecy is talking about with this conflict, man. All right. It actually goes into Joel chapter 3, verse 2, but let me read this first. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It says the second woe is past, right? The second woe is woe really translates into destruction, right? Turmoil. It said the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, because if you go early into the earlier chapters of Revelations, it was the angels that cried, "Woe, woe, woe!" Right? Woe. He pretty much said "woe" 3 times. In other words, there are 3 woes. Okay, and those woes represent the wars, man. Now it says the second woe is past, talking about World War II. That's past. And it says, behold, the third woe coming quickly. All right. So once again, man, you know, when the scriptures speak about in the third woe, right? Now this was being written time when the Romans were still in power, because the New Testament wasn't even finished yet. All right. And see, it said the third woe coming quickly. You know, it's talking about now, man. All right. So the second war was passed and the third war coming quickly, and we're right at the doorstep of World War III, man. All right. And once again, like I said, World War III is knocking. All right. But we're about to find out who's gonna open the door. Okay. Now going from there, I want to get the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. I'll slack you. Yes, Joel chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Because the Lord remembers our captivity, man. He remembers the harsh hell that we had to go through. You know, he remembered all that. He remembered the harsh slavery that we went through, the harsh bondage that we went through. All right. Therefore, that's why he's speeding up these times now to have happen, man. This is why he's speeding up the times now to where the conflict is going to get out of hand, to where they're going to initiate the next war, and pretty much unleash the thermonuclear capability, which pretty much is going to end up with America being completely devastated. All right. Why is that? Because of the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Verse 2, it said, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. All right. So he said he's gathering all nations, in which that's what's happening now. See, now you got Russia and Iran involved, which they always been involved, but now you have more nations being involved with it. And it says, and we'll bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And you go into the word Jehoshaphat, that word means Yahweh Shaphat, right? Which means Yahweh's judgment, or the valley of Yahweh's decision. And it said, and we'll plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. So the reason why the Lord is bringing all these nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, is because for his heritage Israel, man. In other words, he's speeding this thing up to where the elect and the 1/3 are delivered. Okay. Because really these prophecies got to happen first before we even get up out of here. All right. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. All right. Now skipping down to verse 8. It says, Slack, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right. So now they're preparing war, man. They've been preparing war for the longest. That's why you have a thing called the arms race. All right. Because now you have these nations turning their attention from other concerns, right? And they're pretty much setting their sights on power, nuclear power, military power. All right. So they're preparing war, man. That's why and even Yahweh Shah even spoke about this, man. He said, you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Okay. And we're seeing that now, man. We're hearing wars or rumors of wars, man. All right. Because now it's a common fact that World War III is on its way. Okay. I mean, you can have a regular Joy 6-pack that comes off the streets. I mean, even he knows about World War III. All right. But these people don't know what the end result of that is, which is destruction of America, thermonuclear destruction of America, should I say? Now it says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right. So, like I was saying earlier, they're focusing their resources, right, into nuclear power, right, nuclear capabilities and military might. All right. And it says in your pruning hooks into spears. All right. So you're not gonna find, any nation that's putting their resources in their monetary system into new agriculture. You're not gonna see that now in this time. All those resources, all that monetary power or all that monetary value is gonna go into military capabilities, man. That's what you're seeing. That's why once again it's called an arms race. You know, it says, "Let the weak say I am strong," and the weak are saying that they're strong, man. All right, because back then the nations that didn't have nuclear capabilities, now they got it. All right, the ones that didn't have, that wasn't as powerful as America was, now that they're saying that they're strong and they can stand toe to toe with America. All right, that's why once again America is really tiptoeing, man, tiptoeing around World War III, so they won't have to start it, man. And that's just like a bully, man. You know how a bully has, pretty much overpowers, the little guys, you know. But then whenever they see a threat or something, see another big guy or big guys, then they don't want no problems, And that's how America's acting right now. But like I said before, Trump, is not doing so well, man. All right. His relationship between America and Russia, or Trump and Vladimir Putin, it's not looking so good. Now, verse 11 says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat." And that's what happened. Once again, that's happening again. That the valley of Jehoshaphat, I didn't bring it out yet, but the valley of Jehoshaphat, it's in that region, man. Syria. All right. That's what the valley of Jehoshaphat is, man. That's what it's called, the valley of Yahweh's judgment, man. That's where everything's gonna go down, man. All right, and it's gonna span from there, and it's going to expand. Okay. It says, "For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." All right. "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes," and I'm about to get that in a second. "Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision," the valley of Jehoshaphat, once again, man. "For the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is near in the valley of decision." All right. Now, multitudes, multitudes. Now, I'm gonna get there real quick. See, I'm not sure if I'm spelling it right, but I'll find out. Yep. Here it is. Now, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 16, and verse 15. And it says, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments." All right. So Lord can return back at any time, man. All right. But once again, like I said, it all relies on the prophecies. That's why the scriptures say, "Measure thou the time diligently within itself." Okay. Reading on, it says, "Lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon." I almost said the Hebrew word for it, but the Hebrew word for Armageddon is Armageddon, right? Which means mountain of troops. Okay. Now, if you go back to Joel, man, let's go back to Joel real quick. It said, Joel chapter 3, verse 14 says, "Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision." That's the army of troops that it's talking about. Okay. It says, "For the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is near in the valley of decision." That's those mountain of troops. That's Armageddon, man. Okay. So Armageddon is not how these people that's into pretty much in the church and stuff like that, they think that It's like it. They think that Armageddon is pretty much like how should I put it? If I remember correctly, it's funny, man, because they have a wild sense of imagination, man. And it's crazy. It's bugged out of their minds. But they think that Armageddon is pretty much, you know, um, meteors coming out of the sky, and stuff of that nature. But they're not too far off, man. All right. Because really that's the end result of America. Thermonuclear destruction. Those ICBMs falling out of the sky. All right. They think it's something else, but really they're not too far off from prophecy. But really Armageddon translates into mountain of troops. Okay. In which once again, it's gonna start off World War III. All right. That World War III involves mountain of troops. Okay. But let's see if I can go back to it. All right. That's it on that. So going from there, I want to get the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right. So, in other words, and that pretty much is the main point, is that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is stirring up the spirit of Russia, man, because really the Medes in the scripture is talking about the Russians. All right. Because why is that? Because once again, he's over in that same region, and not only that, there's a prophecy in the book of Daniel where it speaks about the four beasts, right? In which the second beast, which was a bear, lifted itself up on one side, right, which represent the Persians was going to overtake the Medes, and had three ribs in his mouth. And it's no coincidence that Russia's symbol is the bear, the Russian bear, man. So this talking about the Russians, man. This is 100% true, man. All right, it's no denying it. So the scripture right here, what speaks about he's stirring up the Medes, right? It's talking about the Russians. Okay, I'm gonna read again. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right. So the Lord is stirring up the Medes, right? Preparing them for war. All right. They're not going to regard the silver or gold. All right. And that's pretty much that's pretty much just the point, the main point on that, man. All right. Because also too, if you keep reading on, it's talking about that thermonuclear capability, right? The ICBMs. Verse 18 says that bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, that I shall not spare children. I mean, that's just like wartime, man. When you're in wartime, you know what? You're not gonna spare children. You're not gonna spare the woman. That's how it is in the time of war. Okay, and it says, verse 19 said, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, which America is known as the glory of kingdoms, right? It's known as the number one country in the whole world, right? It says the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, right? The Chaldees is the magicians, right? The tricksters, the one that's put a smoke screen in front of everybody's eyes, right? This is their baby, America, man, the American dream. Now, Rena says, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? It got destroyed by fire and brimstone. All right. And that's exactly what's going to happen to America. It's going to get destroyed by fire and brimstone. Just how Sodom and Gomorrah went down, because this place advocates Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, this is the place that's spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay, now going from there, I want to get this last verse. I know this last string is pretty short, but you know, it's pretty much just the point, man. You know, especially concerning recent news, because we're set up to bring out stuff like this, man. You know, we bring out edification, you know, on the forefront, you know, but we're prophets and we're set up to speak on prophecies, man. All right, and to break down scriptures. See, that's our main objective, and that's what we've been commanded to do. That's our job, man. What else is a prophet for if he doesn't prophesy, man? That's why the apostle elders on down get on these other Israelite camps, because they're not prophesying. All right, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're too concerned about other things that don't concern what's going on in the world right now. All right, in which really they're not helping the ministry at all, man. And which we understand why, because they're paid off, man. And not only that, they're set up to be false prophets. They were set up by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to be false prophets, man. Okay, to sift out the wheat from the it's like it's to sift out the sheep from the goat. All right, but going back into the scriptures, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9, and it reads, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." All right. So it says right here, man, the Lord is going to raise the cause to come against Babylon, which is America, and assembling great nations from the north country. Now, the north country, talking about Russia, right? Because during that time, during the Babylonian kingdom, Babylon was situated further south in that region, over in the Middle East. In the north country is where the Medes were, in that same region, man. And guess what? Russia's in that region now. So that's why it says he's gonna assemble a great nations from the north country, because that north country is talking about Russia. Okay. And it says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her," to my Babylon. "From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." All right. So right there, man, it says, "From thence she shall be taken. The arrows," right? The arrows talking about the ICBM missiles, "shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." All right. So in other words, when they're shot over here, they're not going to miss their mark, man. All right. So that's what a mighty expert man with an archer, with a arrow, right? Now you have a mighty expert man, a man that's an expert at archery. He's going to hit a bullseye, man. Same thing with Russia. Now Russia is that mighty expert man with the arrow, and he's going to hit his target. He's going to hit that bullseye, man, right in the center where his intended mark is. Okay. Now verse 10 is saying, "Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh by Shem Yahushai." All right, Chaldea, which once again, going back into the land of the Chaldeans, pretty much talking about America, right? "Shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, said Yahweh by Shem Yahushai." And that's true. They will be satisfied, man. That's a scripture in Isaiah chapter 14 where it speaks about when they look narrowly upon Esau, saying, "Man, is this the guy? You know, is this the man that did shake kingdoms? You know, that made the cities waste, the lands waste? You know." So these nations are going to be satisfied when this place is taken down, man. All right. They're going to be completely satisfied. Why is that? Because America's pretty much puts constant hell on the rest of these nations, man. Like I said before, America's is known as the empire, right? And And I really, I'm just thinking about, 2/3 Jakes, in their warped mind of thinking, because this is the thing, man. A nation is not going to go down willingly, man. They don't want to let go of their they don't want to pretty much let go of what they have and give it to another ruling power. No nation is willing to give up their status. All right. So when these nations get rid of America, right? When they all pretty much take part in destroying America, they're gonna be satisfied. Why is that? Because they're gonna get their status back. They're gonna get their inheritance back. All right. Now there's a scripture in that same scripture in Isaiah 14. It says, the fir trees clap at the downfall of Esau, roughly paraphrasing. All right. Fir trees rejoice. Um, and pretty much, roughly paraphrasing, those fir trees talking about these other nations, man. Okay. So they're going to rejoice at the downfall of Esau, because now they get their inheritance back, and they're gonna be at peace again, man. Okay. Because this man's taken out of power. Because man, this so-called white man Esau was set up to take peace away from the world, man. All right. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that's people can't process that in their mind, because they still think is a guy that's underground with lava, surrounded by lava, with a red jumpsuit and a goatee and horns with a pitchfork and a tail. All right. Yeah, bugged out, man. Verse 11 said, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, oh, ye destroyers of my heritage. Yeah, and that's right. Yeah, they did rejoice at our downfall. Talking about the downfall of us, Israel. All right, when they took us into slavery, they rejoiced. All right, they rejoiced at beating us and doing whatever they can with us, man. All right, pretty much destroying us both physically and spiritually and mentally too. All right. It says, oh, ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. All right. And why is that, man? Because I want to grab another scripture. Let me go to the book of Daniel, chapter 5. Hey, dog, I already know what I'm going to. Now, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 5. And start at verse 24. It says, then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this talking about Daniel, when he's pretty much was given it's like there's something going on outside my door. It's like you pretty much Daniel was pretty much he interpreted what was on the wall, which was written, right? The writing on the wall, as people say. He interpreted it. In this verse 25, it says, and this is the writing that was written, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. All right. It says, this is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. All right. Now, that's talking about, and there's a reason why it was written twice. All right. Mene. There's a reason why for that. I'm going to show you. It said, this is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. All right. Talking about Babylon, back when Daniel was on the scene, right? And it was written the second time, Mene, the Most High hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Now, what's that talking about now? That's talking about America, man. Babylon, which is America, America. All right, Babylon the Great. All right. So once again, it says, Mene, the Most High numbered thy kingdom, talking about America, and finished it. All right. It says, Tekel, thou art weighed in the balance and art found wanting. All right. Now, I'm gonna go back to Jeremiah 15:12. It says, your mother shall be, it's like you, verse 11. He said, because you were glad, because you rejoice, O you destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. All right. So in other words, you're grown fat, man. You're undisciplined. You wanted everything to yourself. You're worse than thieves, man. All right. You want to suck the this earth dry of whatever you can put your hands on. All right. So going back to Daniel 5:27, it says tekel, thou art weighed in the balance, are found wanting, because that word wanting means undisciplined, man. All right. You, like I said before, Esau's worse than a thief, man. He's way worse than a thief, man. He takes whatever he takes whatever he gets and more. All right. And not only that, he has no understanding whatsoever, man. All right. Pretty much whatever he sets his hand on, he destroys it. Okay. Now Perez, it says, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Okay. Now it says thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. And guess what? You know what that's talking about? That's talking about right now, man. All right. Because with this, it says thy kingdom is divided. And guess what's happening to this kingdom now, man? The kingdom of Esau. It's saying really is NATO in the EU, man. The 10 toes. Okay. It's already divided, man. It says given to the Medes and the Persians. So in other words, the Medes and the Persians talking about Russia, right? The Medes and the Persians talking about Iran. Guess what? They're gonna level this place, man. Okay. So this kingdom is divided, right? Talking about NATO and the EU, along with America, right? It's all divided because Esau's kingdom is pretty much Esau's kingdom as a whole is divided, right? And it's given to the Medes and Persians. So there it is, man. The Russians and Iranians, you're on their list, man. Okay, and they're gonna take you out. Now, that is pretty much it on that, man. Yeah, let me read this last bit, man. Read this last bit, and I'm gonna end off the live stream. It says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahweh by Shem Yahushai." That's right. All the laws and legislation that they set up here in America, everything that's set up here in America is completely against Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Therefore, he's going to destroy it with thermonuclear destruction. Verse 15, it says, "Shout against her round about. She has given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her." So that's the end all be all. Now, then we go back to Ezekiel chapter 38 because there's more on this. All right. Now, going further on down, is verse 11. It says, "And thou shalt say," it's like it. I'm starting at verse 10. It said, "Thus saith the Lord power, I shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates." So in other words, hey, America's done for, man. Because guess what? It says, "I will go to them that are at rest." This is the place of unwalled villages. Because this land has never been fortified whatsoever as a country in itself, as a whole. So yeah, this is the place of unwalled villages, right? And he said they will go to them that are at rest, because these people, they don't understand what's going on, man. They think that America's going to be here for forever. They think there's nothing's going to happen. They think that Russia's not going to do anything to America, that these other nations not going to do anything to America, right? And they think there's nothing bad is ever going to happen to America, because they're still in that same mentality saying, "God bless America." All right. That's why they're still at rest. You know, that restful spirit is that restful vibration is being pushed around America, thinking that nothing's going to happen. All right. Um, Once again, it said, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So that's pretty much it on that, man. All right. So all in all, you know, this the whole basis behind this live stream. This just bringing out these scriptures. Is just to let you know that these prophecies are going full force, and nothing's gonna stop them. World War III is right at the doorstep and is knocking at the door. All right, either Trump or Vladimir Putin's gonna open that door, and all hell's gonna break loose. All right, even more prophecies gonna come to pass as that happens. Okay, and once again, man, you know, hopefully this has been edifying. Hopefully this some of you people up, because it should, because you know this is Yahweh Bashim Al that we're talking about. All right, everyone should be in fear of him, man. This is what he's capable of doing. All right, and he's going to allow World War III to happen because it's in his word. All right, he spoke of this. All right, so with that, man, once again, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al, and want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that can still continually rule well, doing his work here strong, man. They're still doing his work to this day, man, in diligence. And shalom, peace and safety to the hopefully elect and the sincere Akim that's also doing his work. And all faith, true, and sincerity, you know, continually being in being on fire, giving all diligence, man. And with that, I'll say shalom to the elect. Being on fire. And with that, I'll say shalom.